Oh, let's do story time. So, those of you who follow me on IG or even on Facebook are familiar with the fact that I started this stupid hashtag entirely to be funny. It's hashtag extra average. That's right, extra average. I would start a clothing company and make extra medium t shirts, but I don't know anything about starting a clothing company. So, I figured the second best thing is extra average, which is a term that I made up, and here's the story on that. But there's a lesson to be learned. So, I used to have a group of friends. I don't have any friends now. Um, I just sit in my house and make YouTube videos. And in this group, everybody in the group was really into lifting and training and stuff like that. It was a good group of guys. I actually enjoyed talking with them. But there was one guy in the group who was an idiot. I didn't actually like all 30 of them. There was one guy who was really dumb. And he always had excuses for why he couldn't do this and excuses for why he couldn't do that. And it was actually really annoying talking to this guy because he had a million excuses for why he can't do this and he can't do that, but he could do other things, right? So, like, you've got all this money and you've got your gym and he had an amazing home gym and all stuff like that, and it's like, okay, but you can't follow Wendler 5 through 1 for, you know, 3 months? Like, that's just too much for you, huh? Okay. Like I said, he always had excuses. And then he couldn't stick to a diet. So he was always like, oh, I'm fat and I can't lose weight because I can't stop drinking beer all the time. And it's like I don't know what you want. So he always wanted an easy pill, right? So he wanted some fat burner product or some supplement or something like that to fix everything all the time. Because I guess if you just take enough fat burner pills, you can go ahead and eat like shit. You can eat like a child, and you don't have to grow up and stop drinking because you're in your 40s. So like, why would you want to stop behaving like a college kid? Anyways, and I don't care if you like getting drunk every night, you go do that. But don't complain to me that you can't lose your beer belly if because you won't stop drinking a 6 pack of beer every night. Like, that's pick one. You, whatever. Anyways, so this dumbass always had excuses for why he was fat and weak. And then the one day he announces to us that he's going to start using steroids. I'm sure YouTube just like massively pushed this video down so no one will see it. Steroids. Anyways, so he decided he was going to go on. This is a guy who's never done steroids before in his entire life. He has no idea what he's talking about. Doesn't know shit about them. So he buys them off some guy at the gym and immediately tells us that he's going to start injecting 750 milligrams of testosterone a week. It's a very, very large dose. And I was like, you do know that like TRT starts at like 100 milligrams a week. And he's like, I ain't doing TRT, I'm getting jacked. And I was like, so this is all comments back and forth. This is not a verbal conversation. So I write him back and I was like, well, what are you planning on doing besides injecting 750 milligrams of this unknown substance that you bought off of some random guy at the gym that may or may not actually be what he says it is? What are you going to do besides injecting that? And he's like, I'm just going to continue doing what I already do. At which point I said to him, so let me get this straight. You're going to inject this substance of unknown quality and unknown origin that you bought off some random dude at the gym that you don't really even know all that well, and you're going to trust that it's actually testosterone, and then you're going to continue to lift like a pussy, which I don't mind saying that. If you spend your time dicking around with light weights and never push yourself and never train to failure, you're not going to make progress. And so you're going to continue to train like a pussy, and you're going to continue eating junk food and drinking beer all the time. And so then he wrote back and he said, yeah, because he says the drugs will make me jacked. So I wrote back to him and I explained to him, if you start injecting this drug, and it is what you think it is, you're just going to go from you to a slightly larger you. You're going to go from fat and weak to a slightly larger fat and weak version of yourself. So you're going to go from average to extra average. And that's where extra average came from. Am I proud of myself? Well, I'm amused with myself. Sometimes I say things and I actually found it funny. It came out. I told him that he was going to go from average to extra average, and then I was like, that's a great line, extra average. I just think that that's hilarious. I wish there was a reversal. I wish there was some way like I could tell people that like I'm enhanced, but like I'm like fake enhanced. So like I pretend to be enhanced, but I'm not. I don't know. I don't think that would go over very well. I don't think people would believe me. I don't think people look at a guy who's, 5'9.5" and, weighs 160 pounds and be like, that dude's definitely on juice. Especially like, if you guys have seen my lifts, like they're nothing. I'm not that guy. It's not me. I've never set a record in anything. I've never won a powerlifting meet or a weightlifting meet. I've never won any of these types of competitions. I've done them. I never ever claimed to set records or be good at them. I played hockey too. I sat the bench at a very high level, and I don't mind that. Like I don't mind admitting to people like, hey, I played all these different sports. I wasn't good at them, because if I was good at them, you would know who I am, and I wouldn't be talking to people on YouTube. I'd be playing in the NHL or some shit, or I'd be setting records on platform. I'd have some gold medals. You would know who I am, but I'm not. I'm just some average dude who absolutely loves this stuff. Actually, I absolutely love sports and lifting weights and the science behind it. I think it's really cool that people can make themselves better. Anyways, we're off on a tangent. Point being, and this is what I really want to share here, I joke around about people going from average to extra average. I joke around about being extra average. But in reality, most of the goals that people have are absolutely attainable without using any types of drugs. You don't have to be extra average and take drugs to do most of the things that people want to do. Don't get me wrong. If you want to deadlift 1,000 pounds, let's just be honest with ourselves, because I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, you're not going to deadlift 1,000 pounds without some form of performance enhancing substance. Okay, you're also not going to step on the stage of the Olympia. But for a lot of people, like, oh, I want a double body weight back squat. Like, you can absolutely accomplish that. Like, stop selling yourself short. You are not fragile and you are not weak. Like, you're not nearly as, oh, my genetic limit. Fuck your genetic limit. Stop listening to people who tell you shit like that. Before steroids were invented, there were guys who were squatting 3 times body weight. Robert Fine snatched 1.6 times body weight. That's before steroids were ever even invented. They didn't exist. Before testosterone was synthesized, this guy snatched 1.6 times body weight, and I believe he clean and jerk double. And he could back squat 3 times his body weight. Like, these are things that people did without drugs. This is before drugs. So, you're capable of doing a lot more than you think you are. And I think that a double body weight back squat is a very attainable goal. But the thing is that a lot of people don't train well. A lot of people follow crappy programs. And I don't want to ever be that person. I could go down this path so easily where I just turn into that guy who calls out other people and says, this guy sucks, and this guy sucks, and this program's garbage. I don't like that whole negativity thing, though. So what I'd rather do is I'd rather encourage people to follow good sources, and I'll probably make a whole video of telling you people I think are good. But the point being that if you really dialed in your nutrition, and you truly consistently stuck to it, and you dialed in your training, and you truly stuck to it, you'd be amazed what you can accomplish. A lot of these guys who go out and just start injecting random shit that they got from somebody, not a smart thing to do, because people lie, especially drug dealers. Just something to consider there. Their training sucks, and their diet sucks, and so they think they can compensate for it by just, like, taking shit, and the reality is like, I don't know, it just seems like a loser's way out. So, don't be extra average, but by all means, #extra average if you want me to see your post. I'll laugh.